we shall discuss the different things that could happen to you in case you have a high blood pressure but you don't do anything about it. So I told you the role of the blood is to distribute nutrients and requirements to the different parts of the body so they continue functioning, doing everything possible to ensure that you survive. So if the blood pressure is so high, there is going to be damage to the blood vessels in the different parts of your body. The blood vessels that have been damaged in that part of the body will result into damage to that part of the body, and it's that damage that causes the illness, the complications, and the symptoms that you get, which might even cost your life. A high blood pressure can affect your brain, can affect your heart, can affect your kidneys, can affect your eyes, and many other parts of your body. I'll start with the brain. The brain is found in the head. That's quite basic. In your head, there is a very important structure called the brain. It's very important to the point that even in development, when you are still inside your mother's uterus, it's among the first parts of your body that forms first. Why? Because the brain coordinates the rest of the parts of the body. If your brain is not formed well when you're still inside the womb, chances are high even the other parts of the body are going to have deformities. So it keeps controlling the different parts of your body even throughout life. So it has blood vessels like any other part of the body that keep taking the nutrients like the oxygen, the water, the glucose, and all those other things, and also keep removing the waste products after the brain has used these good ones. The wastes are also supposed to be sent back still through blood to where they will be eliminated from, like the urine and all that. So I talked about two things. One, because of a high blood pressure, blood vessels can tear, can rupture, can burst, can give way, and the blood pours. Or I said blood vessels can become narrow until when they are blocked off suddenly. In the brain, high blood pressure can cause any of those things. The end result is the same. It is cutting off of blood supply to the different part of the brain where this particular blood vessel was taking the blood. And once that happens, that part is going to be damaged. Now, the brain is partitioned. There are different parts that are responsible over different parts of your body. For example, the movement in this hand is affected because a certain part in the brain, in my brain, is functioning. I am able to feel when something touches me on this hand because a part of my brain that is responsible over that is functioning. But if that part of a part of the brain responsible over this function is damaged as a result of either the blood vessel leading to it is occluded or blocked suddenly, or it has ruptured and blood has poured, it's no longer reaching where it's supposed to go, there will be a damage. And those are the people we say have sustained stroke. And those are the people that you find maybe as paralyzed. The whole of the left side of the body cannot be moved, cannot feel anything. Some of them cannot speak anymore, cannot see anymore, are convulsing, they're having seizures, basically they have fits. It's because the part of the brain responsible over those different roles has been damaged. So high blood pressure can cause stroke, and stroke can cause paralysis, can cause blindness, can cause deafness, can cause numbness, can cause dumbness, it can cause all those things. Incontinence, where someone cannot control when to urinate, when to defecate, all those things. I'll go to the heart. The heart is very important, extremely important also, because it's the pump that keeps pushing this blood for it to be able to circulate the different parts of the body. So if the heart has been damaged, it means it will not be able to do its work of pumping. It might be able to push very little or nothing at all, depending on how severe the damage is. But it's the same thing. The heart itself also has blood vessels. Just like the brain has its blood vessels that take blood to it, even the heart has its own blood vessels. Other than these big vessels that bring blood from all over the body, or that take blood all over the body, it also has its own that keep supplying its muscles, its tissues, its cells, so that it keep doing the work of pumping blood. So if these blood vessels are blocked, it means the heart muscles are going to start dying off. And when that happens, you can get a heart attack where your heart stops to contract suddenly, and then you will not have blood flowing. And if you are not attended to urgently, you will lose your life. In some people, that doesn't happen. But remember, I told you, if your blood pressure is high, your blood vessels are stiff. When your blood vessels become stiff, there'll be a lot of resistance to the blood that is flowing through those blood vessels. And the heart will now have to work a lot to push this blood against that resistance. If a tube is like this, and there is water flowing in, and then another one is like this, and there is water flowing in, there is going to be a lot of resistance in this small tube as compared to the other big one. So it's the same thing. When your blood vessels are narrowed, there's going to be a lot of resistance, and so for you to overcome, for the heart to overcome that resistance, it's going to need to pump with a lot of force. Just like how it is if you were pushing against one man and then pushing against 20 men. It would be harder for you to push against 20 men. And so if you are to do something recognizable, you would have to use a lot of force to push against the 20 men. That's what happens. But if you keep pushing against many men, and their numbers also keep increasing, a time comes where you are exhausted and you can't push anymore. You can be exhausted to a level that you can't even now push against just one man, because you are exhausted. You have used up all your energy, strength, and ability. It's the same thing that can happen to the heart. Initially, it tries to overcome this resistance, pushes with a lot of force, But time comes and it gives up, it breaks down, and it's not able to do that anymore. What happens? The blood going out to the different parts of the body will not be adequate enough. It will be just a little, and that's when we say someone has heart failure, where your heart is not able to push enough blood to supply the different parts of your body, and that's problematic. It's so problematic. That is the heart. Either sudden failure, like how heart attacks come about when there is certain blockage to big blood vessels carrying blood to the heart, or the progressive damage that comes about as it tries to compensate, as it tries to push blood at a greater force to overcome the resistance. And sometimes the blockage might not be that big and sudden. It might just be a bit of narrowing. It might be on and off blockage that keeps causing on and off damage to the heart muscles until the time it says, oh, I've also given up. I can't do any more thing. I can't do anything. So that can also happen. I'll talk about the kidneys. The kidneys are very, very important structures in your body. They play a role in sieving out waste products in your blood and to release them out in the form of urine. When you take in food, when you take in drugs, when you drink certain things, when you take in chemicals, even good food, by the way, you eat your good food, very nutritious, the body will take out what it needs, and then the rest it will have to release off. If it's not released off, it will accumulate and it will become a waste, toxic, poisonous. Remember, we say too much of anything is always bad. So the kidneys have a responsibility of ensuring that some of these waste products, some of them are not even wastes as such, but some of these things don't keep in blood, because if they keep there, their high concentrations will be problematic. So if the kidneys are damaged or diseased, it means they are not going to be able to do that. And you cannot survive if your kidneys are not functional, unless if you go and do something about it. Maybe if you do it manually now, because we have a way. If your kidneys are damaged to a level that they have failed to do their work, for you to continue surviving, we have to take out your blood, sieve it, do the work of the kidney, then push it back in your body so that you continue to survive. That's called dialysis, and that dialysis is quite expensive here in Uganda. You can, in some centers, you need about 350,000 and above to have dialysis done. And how many people will be able to afford that? And you have to have it maybe like 2 times a week. How many of us here in Uganda and around East Africa, even worldwide, can actually afford that? Not very many people. If not that, you have to get a new kidney. There is what we call kidney transplant. How many of us are able to afford the cost of kidney transplant? And how many people are willing to donate to you their kidneys? And how many people are compatible with you? Because people might be willing to give you their kidneys, but their body and yours cannot match. Their kidney cannot continue surviving in your body. All those things. So it's better and easier to prevent than to try to manage when the damage has already taken place. So a high blood pressure can affect the blood vessels within your kidneys, and when that happens, you will get kidney damage, kidney disease that might result into kidney failure. In the eyes, there are also blood vessels that can get damaged, and if those blood vessels get damaged, it means your eyes are not going to be able to see well. It might start as blurring, but it can also end into blindness. That is, sometimes people get blind after getting a stroke, but others get blind when they've not sustained a stroke, but just the eyes within them, that membrane that receives the light that is coming in from out, can actually be damaged. The retina can be damaged as a result of damage to the blood vessels that supply to blood, that comes about as a result of a high blood pressure. All those things, and many other things. But majorly, those are some of the serious complications that you're likely to get when you have a high blood pressure.